We're at Walt Disney Studios Park. Bonjour MamFam, it is our second day at Disneyland Paris parks, and we are at the Walt Disney Studios.
This park is undergoing a massive transformation, so we wanted to come check it out. And actually, this is our first and last time at Walt Disney Studios Park, because by the next time we come, it'll be renamed to Disney Adventure World.
So come with us as we check out the best rides, entertainment, and some snacks.
Alan.
Yes.
What are you most excited to do today for your first time at the Walt Disney Studios Park?
I have heard that the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is different here, so I'm excited to see that.
Max. Yes.
What are you most excited to do today?
Oh, Crush's coaster. Molly.
Yeah.
What do you... Where's Molly? Where could she be?
Where did she come from?
What are you most excited about here at Walt Disney Studios?
I am most excited to ride Avengers Assemble: Flight Force, which is a Marvel Iron Man themed coaster. Like I said, this park is undergoing massive changes to the point that a lot of you were like, why are you going now? Wait for it to reopen. But we can't compare an after if we've never seen the before. So we wanted to come see the park in its current state so that whenever we do come back after the Worlds of Frozen, the new Lion King ride, the new front lot here, once all those things are reopened, we will have an appreciation for the past. Big thank you to our friends at Be Our Guest Vacations for booking our trip and arranging our tickets with Disneyland Paris. We literally could not have done it without you. Traveling internationally can be kind of stressful trying to figure everything out, but they booked our hotel, our ticket, our premier access to the attractions, dining. They took care of everything. It was super easy. So if you are traveling to Disneyland Paris, definitely check them out. We were graciously given tickets by Disneyland. However, a ticket cost to come to the park today would be $105 for this park or $133 if you are park hopping. We are also given Disney Premier Access Ultimate. This is Disneyland Paris's version of Lightning Lane. It's their skip the ride service. There's two different versions of Disney Premier Access. There's Disney Premier Access 1, where you can purchase individual attractions once you're inside the park. You'll reserve a specified time slot for those attractions and pay per person per ride, similar to fancy rides at Walt Disney World. There's also Disney Premier Access Ultimate, which you can purchase in advance, or you can have your travel agent book them for you like we did. This starts at 90 euros per person and varies by date. This gives you access to all of the attractions across both parks that take Disney Premier Access, and the best part is there's no set times. You can just go whenever you want, once per attraction. So excited to be using that again today because it was really easy when we used it in Disneyland yesterday. Made it very convenient. All right, I think that's enough blabbering.
Now, current state, this park is made up of the following lands: the front lot, Toon Studio, Worlds of Pixar, Marvel Avengers Campus, and where we are headed, Production Courtyard. Up first, we are headed to the Hollywood Tower Hotel to ride the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. If you were to buy the individual Premier Access Pass, it would cost you €14, and the height requirement for this ride is 1.02 meters, or just about 40 inches. Now, I know the walk-in was odd because it wasn't coming down this regular main stretch, but also,
This park is supposed to be like a backlot, like a studio, like an actual studio, and I do get that vibe.
A lot of sound stages.
Having been to the Disney Studios in California, you got the Eiffel Tower, but this is just like the most interesting layout of a Disney park I've ever been in, I think. It's just like now we've made it past this big building, and we can see all of the other lands.
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Marvel's right there. I saw the top of Toy Story, like, this is just interesting.
Walking inside the hotel, it's immediately different than what you would see in Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's a little more Art Deco, a little bit more modern. Are also a lot more called for being very dilapidated with the massive chunks coming out of the walls there. But still the same amount of doom and gloom over all of the items inside.
A fun Easter egg in Hollywood Studios, the directory, if you look down at the bottom, it says take the stairs, and here it says come with me.
Vous ouvrez cette porte avec la clé de l'imagination. Au-delà, c'est une autre dimension. Une dimension sonore. Une dimension visuelle. Une dimension de l'esprit. Une dimension.
Bye. Nice.
Made it into the strange yet all too familiar boiler room, and it's this time that I must remind you how Disney makes these cobwebs. They spray a substance with a Ghostbusters proton pack, much like hot glue, and then natural things cling to it, like dust and your skin cells. So think about that next time you ride Tower of Terror or Haunted Mansion or anything with spooky, scary cobwebs, because once these get too heavy, they pull them down and start all over again. So you helped make the magic. Look at all that. That's nice. That's a veritable soup of skin cells.
That's like every guest that's ever come.
Yeah. What are you worried about?
Je n'entrerai pas si j'étais vous. I wouldn't go in there if I were you. Évitez de vous perdre dans cette dimension. I can't see you. Don't get lost in this dimension. You might not make it back.
That was a nightmare.
As a certified horror girly, I can tell you that the scariest thing that can possibly happen is seeing a little child laughing or sing song. And we
got
did.
both.
We did.
And it was a nightmare.
Yeah, we've been on a bunch of versions of that ride, and I think that's the scariest one.
Definitely. I thought Tokyo was the scariest one, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
They have a literal jump scare
That's
in
true.
the middle
I
of
loved
the
it.
ride.
I loved it. And you get a creepy demon. I never thought of the Twilight Zone as being like demonic.
No.
Or like
It sounded
like
that
an
way,
entity.
though.
Like the little girl's like, shh, don't scream. It's gonna hear you.
Yeah.
And then it's like behind you.
Nightmare.
Nightmare.
So it did. So it did. Is what we're saying.
So I loved it, but it will probably scare kids more than the other ones.
That's
but,
true.
Sure.
Yes.
But if you've been on any other version of this, the Guardians in California, even Tokyo's or Hollywood Studios, this is way different.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
ride this.
It notably doesn't move horizontally, so
No.
the ride system is like Disneyland's in California,
Yeah.
but boy, the theme is darker.
Yeah. And notably, Hong Kong Disneyland does not have a Tower of Terror, so that was officially our last Tower of Terror
We
ride.
did it. We rode them all. We
Nice.
rode all the towers. Which one's your favorite? I know, on the spot. Gut reaction.
Right now, my gut is saying Tokyo, but boy, that just came to play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
I-
it because of Sexy Joe Rody though?
Yeah, and that
It's
monkey.
not.
And the monkey.
It's
monkey.
not Sexy
And the
Joe
theming.
Rody.
It's not just Sexy Joe, right?
Yeah, I think my gut is Tokyo as well, at least right now.
I want to throw in Guardians. I love Mission Breakout. I think
Most
Mission Breakout
fun.
is so fun, and I love the music, and I love that ride.
I think that ride is so fun. I just want Tower of Terror to be spooky.
I
Yeah,
agree.
And
and
Guardians
this-
isn't spooky.
This can't be
That's
right.
what I said.
What I'm gonna say though, banger all 4 times.
For sure.
Banger ride globally.
There's not a bad one.
True. We've taken 7 steps and made it into Worlds of Pixar, and we're all kind of perplexed because there aren't any land transitions.
Yeah. It all just looks like kind of the same road, but you walk by buildings that are different.
And now we're at Toy Story Playland, which does make sense to be attached to Worlds of Pixar, but it's just like there's a small Cars Land here, but not a fully fleshed out Cars Land.
Really just 3 cars buildings
It's-
across from a crush coaster.
Which this is all fine because it's all Pixar, but it's weird that it's 7 steps away from Production Central and Hollywood, like the Tower Hotel. This is an interesting situation here.
Next up on our list, as we have made it deep into the world of Pixar, is a familiar attraction for us. This is Ratatouille, l'Aventure totalement toquée de Rémy, which translates, at least roughly, to The Totally Crazy Adventure of Rémy. I kind of love that title. Now, this is the original attraction that you might be used to if you have visited Epcot in the France Pavilion. It originated here at Walt Disney Studios Park in Disneyland Paris. This attraction does not have any height requirement, currently is very popular with a 70-minute posted wait time. And if you were to buy a Premier Access Pass for this ride specifically, it would be €14.
Just like in Epcot, we've got the cute Rémy fountain with the little Rémys running around and the champagne bottles. I also love the sewer grates right here that have Rémy on it with his broken spatula and writing Gusteau's book like at the beginning of the movie. And then another cute detail is there's little toques around, little chef hats. Like you can see there's one up in the wrought iron at the top of that gate right there. There's also some on the top of these poles that Max is getting a picture of. So you can definitely tell that this is a newer area of the park in terms of the theming.
Des invités pour un dîner.
Vous serez toujours les bienvenus chez Rémy. À bientôt et bon appétit.
Wild, crazy, what was it called?
The Totally Crazy Adventure of Rémy.
Totally crazy, not in 3D.
Not in 3D.
Weird, because
The
it's
Totally Crazy 2D Adventure of Rémy.
it's 3D at Epcot, and I thought it was 3D here, but I was surprised.
Yeah, it was not. It was the same ride.
It's better in 3D.
Yeah.
Which is rare for me to say because it makes me a little slightly bit queasier, but I think the 3D makes it more immersive.
Yeah.
And there's also better ride vehicle movement at the one in Epcot, like the rats when you're running
Feels
jostle
like
up
it.
and down.
Yeah.
So this kind of felt like going through fun sets and seeing a movie screen on a cute ride vehicle.
Yeah, the best upgrade to this one, honestly, is just that at the end you exit next to Chez Rémy, and so it's cool that the ride ends with you at his restaurant, and then you actually see it when you walk off, but if you're not going to eat there, it's really just seeing it through a window.
I still think this ride's cute. I think this ride is worth riding. I don't know that I'd wait 75 minutes for it, but if you've been on the one at Epcot, that one I think is slightly better, but they're virtually the same.
Yeah. But speaking of Chez Rémy, that is where we are headed next.
We are going to eat there. We're going to be guests of Rémy, which is very nice. As we mentioned, Bistrot Chez Rémy is the restaurant here at the exit of Rémy's Ratatouille Adventure, and it is the restaurant from the movie Ratatouille. At the end, Anton Ego funds Rémy's restaurant. You can see it right here, the cute Chez Rémy sign. And this is a table service restaurant, very popular because of the cuteness factor. Reservations highly recommended. You can book them 2 months in advance. Our lovely travel agent arranged it for us, so very excited to eat here because I've heard that it is absolutely adorable inside, and the sneak peek we just got made me even more excited. It's so cute in here, starting with the little Rémy on the glass. And then you have all of these things on display from Chef Rémy that he's acquired over the years, different awards. Portrait of his hero, Gusteau, of course. His first copy of the cookbook, the one that we see in the movie, I presume. A portrait of the financier, Anton Ego. Looks like oh, this is cute, a little poster from Rémy, or from, I think maybe from his family to Rémy. Wishing Rémy good luck. Anton Ego's review of Gusteau's that is read in the end of Ratatouille. You can see here the quotes there. It's difficult to imagine more humble origins than those of the genius now cooking at Gusteau's. Nothing less than the finest chef in France. I love this. His rolling pin. Oh my gosh, this is already adorable. Look at all these awards in the back. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Well, this is just heckin' adorable. The giant plates. Gusteau's book. Oh, the colander. The string lights. Oh my gosh, this is adorable. I'm obsessed with this. Merci. even the tables are what you see at the end of the ride and what you see in the movie, where the chairs are made out of champagne corks that have been twisted, and then the tables are like a little ramekin. And again, you've got the giant plates. You've got, oh look, Rémy wrote a cookbook as well, and it looks similar to the cover of Gusteau's. The flowers over top, the string lights, the giant forks, and so, oh my gosh, this is literally so cute. Couple more cute details as we've been exploring. Some of the tables are lit with an umbrella, and it's a tiki umbrella, like a beverage umbrella. And then in the front area, you can see that some of the flowers are in salt and pepper shakers. And then out on the patio, there's 2 gigantic wine bottles. They are from Anton Ego's wine label, and they are years 2007 and 2014. That's the year the movie came out, and then the year this attraction opened. And there's a similar, smaller Easter egg of that in Florida, where they also added the year the Epcot attraction opened. But like, this restaurant's worth coming in just for how cute it is.
Menu is composed of either the Rémy menu or the Emile menu. The Rémy menu has a starter and a main course, while the Emile has a starter, main course, and dessert. If you want to add wine, that also has a charge for that as well. The starters consist of a salad, soup, what looks like a pear chestnut duck pate. You also have some main courses with grilled steak french fries, some roasted cod, some chicken, and the desserts. Molly's favorite dessert, a plate of cheese, chocolate mousse, and a fruit salad. You also have a menu for the little chefs. This is going to be your children's menu with the corresponding more simple dishes in the starters, main courses, and desserts.
All 3 of us started with the salad, made with mixed greens, roquefort cheese, tomato confit, a poached egg, walnuts, pear, and a kitchen garden vinaigrette. This was actually a pretty delicious salad. The roquefort cheese is similar to blue, so it's a little bit funky and creamy. I loved the poached egg on there. A little crunch from the walnuts. Nothing super unusual, but the veg was fresh, and it was a tasty way to start the meal.
Then we tried the wine that was made especially for Rémy's restaurant. This is a Bordeaux, and it was incredibly fruit forward. It tasted a lot like plums to me. It was very nice and rich when paired with the steak and fries that I picked up. Now, to be fair, we all got this as a main course. It was grilled steak with french fries. They did give you a choice of sauce between the chef sauce, green peppercorn sauce, brie, or a béarnaise sauce. I got the béarnaise. The steak itself was fine. It was not the best steak I've ever had, and certainly not the worst, but I will say I don't need to get it again. The fries were also adequate. I wish they had a little more salt and or pepper on them, but I did like the béarnaise sauce. It was a little bit tangy and light.
While Molly and I also got the steak, we instead got the brie sauce to go along with that steak. And while the notes on the steak are the same, that sauce was perfect for dipping our fries in. And for dessert, Alan and I both got the chocolate mousse. This was light, not too rich, a nice fluffy chocolate taste, exactly what you would expect from a chocolate mousse.
And shocking to literally no one, I got the cheese for dessert, which was a big piece of brie cheese, a fruit jelly, as well as a fruit loaf of bread. I love that in France, cheese can be a dessert. The brie was a little bit strong, but I loved it. I loved it balanced with the sweet bread. Honestly, what more could I ask for? Well, that was adorable.
Very cute restaurant.
I think if you're going there, you're going 100% for the theme.
Yes.
The food, I think, was by and large fine. It wasn't anything that I'm going to be recommending folks go to if you want to enjoy a heightened cuisine. But, that being said, I'll echo the sentiment. Everything about the interior of that was incredible.
It was adorable. I mean, down to the details of the fact that when you get off the attraction, it has the same wallpaper, but the pattern's bigger in the restaurant. Like, it's just so cute. The attention to detail. That's the Disney theming, like that I know we all know and love. I will agree with you, Alan. I think it was fun to go. There's not a lot to do in this park right now, so I didn't mind spending an hour and a half sitting down, having a glass of wine and a coffee and enjoying each other's company. But it did take a while because it's a sit-down restaurant, so if you've only got one day in these parks, or once there's more in this park, you know, you may not want to prioritize a sit-down restaurant. That said, I'm glad we went.
It is heckin' cute, so.
It's
Full disclosure, we've been on a journey for quite a while when we could have just gone through that there barrel from the streets of France, well, Ratatouille area of France. But now we are still in search of the Cars road trip. A ride that, if it is as good as we think it is, might become one of our favorite attractions in all of Disneyland Paris. Oh, that's fun wall art, like chalk drawn. All right, we have made it to Cars Road Trip. This attraction is a slow-moving one and has no height requirement, and you go on a road trip through different areas, and you might see some of your favorite friends from the Cars franchise. If you wanted to purchase an individual Disney Premier Access, it would cost €5 per guest. And if this attraction is what I think it is, I'm excited to go and have a little bit of a nostalgia hit.
A luggernaut this big. I must be dreaming. Pinch me good.
I've been there. Wow, tu as réussi à sortir du labyrinthe. It was amazing. Je suis irrésistiblement attirée.
Bientôt un bon vieux lavage naturel à l'ancienne. Attention, préparez-vous. Rémy, et voilà!
Attention, la tour à fuse. Nom de pneu. J'espère que vous appréciez.
Mater, this is your masterpiece, man.
Veuillez attendre vos effets personnels. Merci.
I don't even know what to say about that.
If you missed the backlot tour at Disney's Hollywood Studios,
This isn't that, but it does have Cars Catastrophe Canyon in
which
it.
is a joke that Alan came up with,
Yep, and I mean, not only did he come up with it, he got it on the ride. Really
he
impressive.
branded it.
Yeah,
It was
it's
quick work.
impressive,
It was quick
honestly.
work.
My favorite sign? Slow it down.
Hey, hey, slow it down.
Slow it down out there.
It's the backlot tour rethemed to Cars. So, yep. Okay. Cars Catastrophe Canyon is cool.
Cars Catastrophe Canyon, from a nostalgic lens of I thought I would never see
Yep.
Catastrophe Canyon again, it got bulldozed.
Yeah,
I found to be quite delightful.
yeah.
Outside of that 45 seconds of that attraction,
I don't think you should wait 25 minutes for it. It's just static Cars figures.
it's a
It's
lot of
road size.
It's mostly driving by billboards
But also
slowly.
a static Lightning McQueen.
And the iFuel Tower.
I liked that part.
That's yeah, sure. It was the highlight, I think.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was silly.
not Cars Catastrophe Canyon.
It was the iPhone.
Well,
iFuel
outside
Tower.
of Cars Catastrophe
Yeah.
Canyon. Yeah.
Yeah. Nostalgia reigned on that one.
Yeah. It was nice to see a thing that I thought was gone forever.
An interesting retheme.
If you've got 40 minutes to kill, it's a nice place to sit.
And that's that.
Working our way back to our next attraction, and this is a very interesting layout as well. This park has both on the map, distinctly different from each other, Worlds of Pixar and also Toy Story Playland. But Toy Story is kind of in the middle of the rest of Pixar, so it's interesting that they didn't just call it all Worlds of Pixar. I believe Toy Story was here first, and then they converted the rest of Worlds of Pixar, but it seems like they should just call it all Worlds of Pixar and call it a day. You've got the Slinky Dog Zigzag Spin, which they also have in Shanghai. It's basically a spinner attraction. Also in Shanghai, we rode it there, the RC Racer, which is this 25-meter high RC track that you go back and forth on in an RC car. It's pretty fun, but we're prioritizing things we've not done before and that are unique to this park. Also here, you've got the Green Army Man parachute drop, which is it looks like a slightly taller version of Jump Jump Jellyfish from California Adventure. And back behind a wall where she belongs is Jessie. Clearly they're doing a lot of renovations in this park, not just in the main area in the front, not just World of Frozen. They're doing lots of Reno. Look at this cute photo shoot. Why don't you go over there?
Oh, I already did.
Oh, you did? Let me see art. Art. Yeah, Alan, what Army Man would you be? Where is he? Oh, that guy. Go do it.
Big fan of him.
Beautiful.
All right, adult, get up there. Serve your civic duty.
All right, which one are you going to be? Oh.
Nice. Nice. I've seen this look before. And having made it through Toy Story Playland and into the world of Pixar, next up is Crush's Coaster. Now, Crush's Coaster is a roller coaster with a 1.07 meter height requirement. That's about 42 inches. And currently an 85-minute wait. It is incredibly popular. It also, if you were going to buy an individual Premier Access Pass for it, it is currently selling for 21 euros per guest, which is about 25 US dollars, and is, I believe, the most expensive Premier Access Pass across both parks as of filming. Now, as I said, this is a roller coaster where the description says you're going to spin, dive, and fight against the current as you get swept up in a whirlpool of adventure.
Do you think we're gonna see Bruce?
Not on the EAC.
Well, maybe.
Anything is possible.
I hope we see Bruce. Max,
Yeah.
do your best Crush impression.
Sure. Dude. Focus, dude. You did, in fact, see Bruce.
It was so totally awesome, dude.
That was a very fun coaster. The mechanics of that sort of swinging you around sideways while you're actually on a coaster, for the longest time I was like, are we going to actually go somewhere or do something?
Yeah, it starts a little slow, taking through some practical sets, some screens, showing you some Nemo characters you love, and then it gets into the roller coaster portion, which is very dark.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have no idea where you're going at
I don't
any
know
point.
what direction I was pointing.
Nope.
That was wild.
It's less intense than Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which is also a coaster that moves you that way, but it's more intense than like Space Mountain, probably?
In all Space Mountains that aren't Paris, I agree.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's somewhere in the middle there as far as intensity goes. I was a little worried about getting motion sick because spinning motion can make me sick. I didn't feel sick at all, personally.
No, yeah, it didn't feel like it gave that. I think that was a super fun coaster. I wish for the roller coaster portion to be just a hair longer.
Yeah.
Because there is a pretty lengthy slow section at the beginning, but super fun.
Very fun.
Definitely worth the hype, I would say.
Absolutely.
And now we find ourselves in Marvel Avengers Campus, the second Avengers Campus on the planet. You probably know that there's one of these in Disney California Adventure, and if not, go check out the video where Alan and I did everything in Avengers Campus in a day, including meeting a bunch of heroes. Oh, look at this giant Pym disc. Ant-Man is probably looking for that. The Quinjet off in the distance, and the Worldwide Engineering Brigade building right here, which is where Web Slingers is. We've got Web Slingers: a Spider-Man adventure as well. But we're headed to the exclusive attraction here, Avengers Assemble Flight Force.
Molly, that looks like where Spidey stuff happens.
I bet Spidey stuff happens there. I hope we see some Spidey stuff.
Just Spidey stuff.
I should note they do have Pym Kitchen here, but instead of being a quick service restaurant, it's an all you care to enjoy buffet. If you want to eat there, definitely recommend reservations in advance. Now we've made it to Avengers Assemble Flight Force right here next to the Quinjet, where we are going to go see Tony Stark. And it's the first time that Iron Man's ever been made into an animatronic, so I'm super excited to see that. This is a roller coaster. I believe it is a reskinned rock and roller coaster. It's got a 1.2 meter height requirement, which is about 40 inches, and it would be 12 euros if you were doing Premier Pass 1 today. But I do have to say, while we are going to use the Premier Access line, it only has a 15-minute wait right now. Hi, Ant-Man. Bonjour. I saw one of your Pym discs over there. Did
you saw the giant one?
Yeah, did you lose that?
No, I put it there, and then at the very top, you got a really small one. I don't know if you noticed it.
Oh, we'll go look for that.
You want to come? You want me to show you?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Tiny disc up there.
That's awesome. Thanks, Ant-Man. That's really cool. Well, we ran into Ant-Man, who then took us the entire length of Avengers Campus to show us his tiny PIM disc, which was really cool. That was very fun. And then we saw Iron Man.
Bonjour, écran. Nous sommes ravis de votre présence. Nous vous attendions. Je suis Friday, l'intelligence artificielle de ce campus, chargée d'en assurer le bon fonctionnement durant votre formation.
And now we're gonna go on Flight Force. So it's been pretty exciting here in Avengers Campus. Did you guys know that this used to be where an Armageddon themed attraction was?
You know, I've heard tell of this.
Can you believe we never got to get Armageddon by Disneyland Paris?
I'm
It's a travesty.
upset.
Same.
Votre mission, piloter ces véhicules et détourner les missiles de la Terre.
Right. You'll be joining us on the mission. Tony's built a transponder that the missile's targeting system will lock onto. He's loaded the transponders into his hypersonic vehicles. So you'll fly the hypersonics and draw the missiles away from the planet. That's when Heavy Metal and I can do our thing.
Quand vous aurez attiré les missiles...
Do you guys feel confident about saving the world?
No, not even a little.
Why us?
There's like, we're in the campus of superheroes.
We just saw Ant-Man.
I'm just a guy.
We just saw Ant-Man.
Like, I'm an idiot.
We just saw Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Could you help?
Well,
Do something.
both of them are going to be up there, but everybody else, MIA.
Where's Thor?
Yeah.
At his restaurant, Molly.
Making Italian food.
Did we make it to the concert? How about those backstage passes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just Rock and Roller Coaster.
It is Rock and Roller Coaster, down to the exactly where the loops are.
Yeah. The ride track is exactly the same, but with some new theming. There were some fun screen effects that
Yeah.
we saw Iron Man and Captain Marvel
Yeah.
blowing up the missiles that we were
Flying by really fast with us. And the Iron Man animatronic in the pre-show is very cool.
Very cool.
I actually think probably maybe more like it than, I like it more probably than Rock and Roller Coaster because I like the theme.
Sure.
And I like the Avengers music pumping and stuff.
I think it's certainly a glow up, right? For where it's set, a great addition.
Yeah, so if you like Rock and Roller Coaster, ride it. If you don't like roller coasters that go upside down, maybe don't ride it.
You heard it here first.
All right, well, after saving the planet, we stopped for a snack break. I got an apple tart.
We both got Mickey bars.
Yeah.
Here's pink.
So good. Chocolate in France, better than chocolate in the States.
The ice cream's better too.
Everything's good.
And I got this apple tart that's got like thinly sliced apples and some puff pastry. It's got very good flavor. You can taste the distinct apple flavor. And then this nice soft puff pastry. I wish the consistency was different. I wish the puff pastry had a little bit of flakiness as opposed to being a little bit softer and doughier. And I wish the apple still had a little crunch. It may have been sitting there for a bit. So flavor-wise, good. But I would probably opt for a Mickey bar next time. A couple of important notes. One, they don't have Diet Coke here. So if you drink Diet Coke, like I do occasionally for a caffeine boost, you gotta get Coke Zero. And second of all though, all the bottles are genius because you can't take the lid off. The lid stays attached to the plastic, so it's easy to reseal and you never lose your lid. So that's living in 2050 right there.
Refueled and rejuvenated after some water, Coke Zero, caffeine, and some sugar from our delicious treats. We are headed to Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, which is also found in Disney California Adventure and their Avengers Campus. This attraction has no height requirement, and if you were to book the Disney Premier Access for an individual person, it costs €16. I, for one, am curious if there is any difference in the story between the two attractions. I'm inclined to think no, but I am ready and eager to be proven wrong.
I'm getting ready.
She is.
Getting stretched out.
Yeah, I'm also ready and eager to lose because when these two are in the car with me, it's an L game.
Max usually wins of the three of us, so we'll see if that happens in Europe.
Well, we will see. I always walk off this attraction with noodle arms. So
Yeah.
do I want noodle arms in Europe? Who's to say?
Thor can recruit you.
Yeah.
Thor can chop off your arms and add them to his spaghetti. They're noodles.
Mais si vous êtes là, c'est pour nous aider à tester le nouveau véhicule Slingers. Grâce à son processeur roulant frigorifique.
Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait des Avengers?
Pas de panique, les amis. Je vais régler ça. Ok.
Well, we did the 5th best car this hour in terms of the score.
Very successful.
We're very good. If
Yeah.
you need, maybe that's why they trusted us earlier.
Oh, they knew. They
They
heard
knew,
about
they
us.
heard legend that we could come help,
They said they could slang some
and
webs.
therefore we need them
Just
on this
like that.
Quinjet.
That's how they talk
Thor
about us.
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
they can slang some wins.
While he was in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Making
slinging noodles.
Italian food.
Slinging
Yeah, he
noodles.
was slanging that sauce
If you haven't
around.
watched our Marvel hotel video, this bit
It's
about
very
Thor running an
confusing.
Italian kitchen.
Just know that he is the known Italian restaurateur.
Thor.
Whoa, the Quinjet's doing something.
Oh,
It's talking to Friday.
it's really sort of just an engine test, the kick into the tires, as it were.
I'm gonna see.
Look back at the Quinjet.
Friday's talking to it.
That attraction is the same as what you're going to find in Avengers Campus and Disney California Adventure, but now we are headed into.
Wait.
Still a ton of
It's
fun.
fun.
Oh, it
We
is
have
fun.
to
It's
say
ton of
it's
fun.
If you don't go to California,
We have
why?
to. No, it is.
It's so good. It's a great shooter ride.
It's a great game ride, a lot of interactivity, not just hitting targets, but there's a lot to play with in the levels. I feel like I find something new every time I ride.
Also, I really like that he's called Spitterman.
Spitterman.
And the Spitterbots.
Spitterbots. We're gonna go look in this building now.
It's a
We don't know
training
what's
center.
in here.
Yeah, no idea. But we're going to ride and find out. I imagine it's a character meet and greet thing.
I think it's like an interactive area, but let's go.
A few moments later.
Update. That is in fact a character meet and greet with a mystery Avengers character, but it's run via virtual queue. And we have something coming up, so we're not going to do it right now, but I want to show you how to do it. So on the Disneyland Paris app, you can go to Map, List, slide over to Characters, and pick this park. Then I'm gonna do Hero Training Center, join the queue. Choose my experience. It's saying that there's also, they do this for Stitch in Disneyland, as well as Spider-Man has his own specific one. But I'm gonna select Marvel Superhero Encounter, who's coming, so you'd select everyone in your party, confirm, and it puts you in the virtual queue, which right now it's estimating 49 minutes. Then you'd come back and be able to meet the character with minimal wait. I actually think this is a pretty smart way to do popular character meet and greets. And now you know how to do it. Again, we're not going to do it because we've got some other more interesting things that we haven't done before, and including a very fun show soon.
Well, after a workout on web slingers, saving, all of Avengers Campus, basically single-handedly, we need a little refuel. And when I say refuel, I mean gasoline. We walked down back to one of our favorite locations in the park, Cars Road Trip, to visit one of the snack stands out here made out of a sentient car. They've carved out the body of a sentient vehicle and they are serving food out of it. It's dark if you think about it too much. Here we are going to eat a croque monsieur, or as Molly likes to call it, a croque monsieur, featuring Lightning McQueen's face. So if you've ever wanted to eat the face of a car, this is your opportunity. And I'm, as a fan of both cheese, ham, and thinking a little bit too hard about the Cars universe, this is a delight for me. Hey, the crew's not here. Hey, can we talk about how weird the Cars universe is? Can we talk about the implications of a Pope-mobile existing? Do you think these cars have health insurance or car insurance? Ka-chow. McQueen. Listen, I think it's hard to mess up ham and cheese and bread. It's a good combination. I will say that there appears to be one slice of ham on this sandwich, and so I think the ratio is a little bit off. It's quite bready, but I'd like a little bit more of the rest of the ingredients to fill it up, make the ratio a little bit better. But generally speaking, flavor is nice. It's a good snack. I mean, if you like eating cars, then by all means, get your stamped Croque Monsieur here. Croque Monsieur, as Molly likes to say.
Croque McQueen.
Yeah, but my name's better.
No, we've decided we don't like the name. But yeah, all in all, not too bad.
Max,
Yep.
do you think that the cars kill each other? Because I have an example.
Molly, I'm so glad that you asked me more about the deep lore of the Cars universe. We can talk about birth and baby cars later, but for right now, I'll answer your question. Yes, I do believe that car wrecks, whether accidental or not, are an example of cars potentially ending the life of another car.
Because I do accept your point about car wrecks.
Yeah.
But in Carsland during Halloween, there's a cute display in the lobby of the Cozy Cone, and it's the Bates Motel, but it's the Brakes Motel, and it's a recreation of Psycho, but with cars. There's the car from Psycho where Norman Bates, shoves a woman. There's all the things, but this would assume that the cars are doing the murder.
That potentially a car could be
a serial killer.
It's interesting. I accept it. Again, there are dark, unfathomable implications of random references that are made in the Cars universe. Again, there are baby cars. So I am willing to. I don't think a serial killer car is the weirdest thing possible.
Alan, how do you feel about the Cars universe?
I wish I didn't feel as much as I did about it.
You wish that we never started talking about the deep, problematic meaning of the Cars movies. You just want them to be nice kids' movies about cars.
Like, the most I ever thought about was, is a convertible drop top a toupee?
A great question.
Good question. Good question. What if it's a girl convertible? Is she topless?
No, it's also a toupee.
Is it a wig?
Yeah,
like
it's
a
wig.
weave?
Yes, it's just a weave.
Before our next adventure, I have just asked Alan and Max if we think that there's an alternate dimension where we're all cars, and if so, what car would you be? And we're gonna all noodle on that over our next adventure. And in the meantime, we're gonna go see Mickey and the Magician, which is a stage show here at Disney Studios. I don't know much about the show, but the description on the app says it stars Mickey Mouse as he is going to attempt to become a magician with the help of magical characters such as Genie, Lumiere, and Rafiki, and that the show features music, dance, and magic tricks.
Alan loves magic tricks.
Alan's interested.
Close-up magic tricks?
We're going to find out.
I hope it's math-based magic tricks.
Don't we all?
Now, as with some of the other stage shows at Disneyland Paris, you can book reserved viewing if you'd like to have a guaranteed spot. That's what we did. It is 15 euros today, and bonus, you can book that in advance. It's not something you have to wait till day of, so if you want to see these shows, recommend go ahead and doing that or having a travel agent do it like we did. And now we're off to see Mickey and the Magician. I think I'd be a VW Bug.
Oh.
It's whimsical.
I like whimsy. I'm going to say like a Honda Civic, but with a good stereo.
Oh, sure.
I'm thinking I'd like to think of myself as reliable.
I think it was me, I'd probably just be like an SUV crossover. Like a Subaru.
Environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
Are you an electric SUV? Or a hybrid?
If given the option, we're always going to choose at least a hybrid.
Okay, that's nice.
Nice.
Now let's talk about the show.
That was the show we saw.
It was.
There were some good, like, big production numbers with music from Aladdin, Frozen, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and I thought the big production numbers, particularly Lion King, were fun.
Yeah. I think the show was a little bit unfocused. It was about Mickey and a magician and magic, but also featured the Lion King, which doesn't have anything to do with magic. Although I appreciate the music, man. I mean, it's banger soundtrack. Listen.
I don't understand why Mickey is cleaning.
Also,
he has an empire.
Yeah.
So we get the classic Mickey broomstick thing like you had with Yin Sid, right?
I know, but like I think of Mickey as past apprenticing.
We've moved on from the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, I just feel like, but I like that he's staying humble.
Maybe this is a prequel.
Maybe. I just like that. I like that he's staying humble and still cleaning, I guess.
Yep.
But like, my man, you run an empire. You don't have to do that.
I'm going to agree with you. I think as far as like the musical numbers went, I thought that they were pretty good throughout. A lot of the dancing and production that way was done. The stage effects.
Oh yeah, there were some cool magic effects.
There were some cool effects.
They're pretty cool. I think if I'm trying to rank the shows that we've seen while we've been here in Disneyland Paris, I would actually put The Lion King
way higher.
Way higher.
Lion King is a must-see. This was a nice to see. I think Lion King set the bar too high for us. I also have to say there's a Pixar show called Together in this park. It's down right now. The way Disneyland Paris does their shows is they have one usually down to rotate things, I think. That one's down, so we didn't get to see that one. But I think this was enjoyable if you want to sit down for 30 minutes in air conditioning, but it didn't top my must-do list like Lion King did.
Yeah.
And with that, we have done all of the highlights here at Walt Disney Studios Park here at Disneyland Paris. Not a huge park. We got a lot done pretty quick thanks to the premiere access. So let's talk about the park.
I think let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. We talked about this right when we walked into the park. A lot's under construction.
Yes.
And we knew that going into it, and we sort of understood what that meant for how this park felt. But I do want to say we have a really good idea of like the baseline of what this park is and what it includes thus far, and I can't wait for us to come back in the future and see those changes.
Yeah. Still some highlights though. I mean, Crush's Coaster was super
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
And even some known bangers like Tower of Terror had those unique flavors that made it fun to revisit.
Not to mention Catastrophe Canyon.
Catastrophe Canyon was a highlight.
Absolutely.
I also, really enjoyed Avengers. The roller coaster, again, rock and roller coaster, but with a fun twist. And classics like Web Slingers and Remy's, those are good rides no matter where you are, even if it's not something new to us.
Yep.
I think the one thing that we noted for this park in particular is that the food was not necessarily the highlight of our experience here, but I can also make the educated guess that that's going to also undergo some changes in the future when all these lands are being redone. But with all that said, much like what we had in Disneyland Paris, what was the highlight of your day today?
I'm going to go ahead and say Crush's Coaster.
Yeah.
I thought it felt really unique and cool.
Yeah.
That kind of dark ride start with the different sets and the Nemo characters.
And Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce was a fun visitor.
That was a fun visitor. But just a really fun coaster. That was awesome.
I think I'm going to take yours. I'm taking Tower of Terror. As a Halloween girly, that is definitely the scariest Tower of Terror. I loved how scary it was. I loved the menacing giggle from the little girl and the cackle from the demon, I guess, that lives in this one. And it was very fun to be like surprised and delighted by Tower of Terror, an attraction I've known and loved for a nothing time. Yeah.
Do you think the Phantom moonlights over here?
He might from Phantom Manor. They probably at least hang.
The
If
laugh
nothing else,
sounded similar.
If nothing else, they hang out at night.
Oh, they're buddies.
Yeah,
They
definitely.
share stories over a cocktail.
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
For me, I'm gonna say because again, I think my highlight was gonna be Tower of Terror, but Chez Rémy.
Yeah.
And again, not necessarily because of the food. I love Chez Rémy because one, I love Rémy as a character, and two, that entire restaurant, the whole space was very immersive. I thought it was so creative how they made you feel like you were very small. Yeah, I think Chez Rémy was a highlight for me.
And again, as we just mentioned, I can't wait to come back to this park. World of Frozen, a Lion King. Lion King's getting a ride. Lion King deserves a ride.
Absolutely.
And it's a water ride, which, but I'll take it because that's my favorite Disney movie, and it really deserves an attraction.
Yeah.
Plus stuff coming to the front lot, so I know I can't wait to come back. But as it stands, if you're coming right now, I do feel like this is a half-day park.
Absolutely.
In fact, I mean, Disneyland Paris even advises that when you're going into
it says come
the
here
parks.
after 3 because there's no one here, and that's pretty true right now. But that's all we're going to do here. We're actually going to take that advice and go over to Disneyland. But before we do, let's talk about Disneyland Paris as a whole. This is our first trip. So what are kind of your overall takeaways of this trip to Disneyland Paris, our first time?
What I'll say is, I'd always heard this, but now having been here, I do think that Disneyland Paris is probably the most beautiful castle park I've been to. I mean, and I don't just mean the castle, which is stunning
so
and so unique and so gorgeous, but also just the landscaping, the flowers, the whole park is so beautiful to look at. It was a joy to get to explore.
Even just walking in, we were like, this is just the entry to the park?
Oh,
it was
so pretty.
The fact that you have the Disneyland Hotel sitting almost identically, it felt like to Miracosta, a Disney Sea over in Tokyo, where it just is looking into the park.
Goals to stay there.
Yes,
for sure.
100%.
Absolutely.
Kind of on that end, I really liked the layout of that park in particular, of Disneyland Park. I like that they only have 4 lands in addition to Main Street, as opposed to a bunch of smaller lands, because they all felt really big and expansive, and it never really felt super crowded. So I really liked the layout of the park itself.
Absolutely.
One thing that I think I really enjoy, that I know I really enjoy about these parks, is that they have unique twists on really classic attractions. The flagship of that is Phantom Manor. It's just what a very cool story that it has associated with it, with all of their Frontierland, with Thunder Mesa. That's amazing. I've heard included in Thunder Mesa, Big Thunder Mountain is the best Big Thunder Mountain that exists. We've unfortunately not been able to ride it this time, but that's just another reason to come back. Tower of Terror?
Banger.
Freaking terrifying. So creepy. But yeah, being able to have those new and unique twists. Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, about the story has changed and how you navigate that ride. I think it's just so fun to know of a ride, but have it delivered to you in a totally new way.
Yeah.
Also, Hyperspace Mountain. What a fun twist that was.
Yeah, and there are some unique experiences in these parks. We talked about the ones in this park specifically, but going back to Disneyland, Dragon Under the Castle.
Yeah. Awesome.
Absolutely awesome. Just the unique special experience of being able to get champagne and drink it on Main Street. I liked the drones in the castle show. So there are some special, distinctly Disneyland Paris touches, as well as kind of what makes Disney parks and Disney Castle parks special.
Yeah. And while we are focusing heavily, I would say, on Disneyland Park, there's just so much to look forward to when it comes to what will be Disney Adventure World, right?
Yes.
Like, this is a cool visit for us to get to see the before and to have our first visit to Disneyland Paris, but I think going in, we all knew, hey, there's a lot in the future of the Walt Disney Studio Park, soon to be Disney Adventure World.
And the last thing I'll say, as just kind of a cultural thing, I know a lot of people get nervous and ask a lot of questions about going to the parks in other countries if you're from the United States. First of all, I didn't feel a language barrier at all.
Ever.
No. And I think, if anything, learn a couple of phrases like hello, thank you, goodbye, please, in the language of the place you're traveling to. It's only respectful of you to be able to approach the folks in their native tongue, at least somewhat.
Yeah, and then most of the entertainment is in both English and French, so I never felt like I didn't understand what was going on at any point. Also, we had wonderful cast member interactions.
We did.
And I don't know if that was partly because we came up and said bonjour, and but I thought the cast members were lovely, and we had some really cool interactions, like when Ant-Man walked us all the way down. That was really cool. We had some really lovely cast member moments as well.
Yeah, very well taken care of on this trip.
Shout out to the chef last night who got me an extra piece of quiche.
Yeah. MVP.
And the last thing I'll say logistically, big thank you again to Be Our Guest Vacations for booking this trip for us. The fact that we had someone else, which we did not have in the Asian parks, be able to understand the ticket packages for us, book our hotel, they're able to book Premier Access, all the things that made it that much more enjoyable.
Totally. Yeah.
So again, if you are looking at visiting Disneyland Paris, they can do all of that for you as well at no cost to you.
That is the end of our time in these parks, but we are headed to the actual city of Paris to explore, so stay tuned for that.
But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new, follow us on all of our socials, and come join us on Discord. We'd love to have you there. The links for all that are down below.
And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
I'm Alan.
And I'm Max.
And it has been incroyable.
Incroyable.
Oui.
C'est magique.
Ka-chow.
Ka-rope, monsieur.